Good morning, everyone. My name is Corrinala, and I'm coming to you from the raining again Pacific Northwest. It is about 5:15 in the morning. I'm walking out to the barn to feed the horses and then get ready for work for the day. Here's the creek. There's the neighbor's lights. So it hasn't been raining much, so the creek hasn't come up, which is good. There's the house and the Christmas tree. Here's the barn. We haven't had rain in a few days, so I don't mind. There's been some land clearing to the north of us, and they've been burning a lot of really big slash piles, so the air's been smoky, and I've developed a little bit of a cough from that, and I think one of my horses too gets a cough from that poor air quality. So, speaking of horses, they're not in their stalls, which would be dry. They are out there. I just saw their eyeballs. They loaf behind the tree next to the fence line on that north side. So, they'll come in for breakfast. I'm gonna get to it. Okay, horses are fed. Bragi's acting a little strange. He's out here rather than in his stall. I don't know if you can see him. He did eat all of his grain, but he is choosing. Oh, he wants to play the phone game or the cone game. Hopefully, he's just going back into his stall to eat. But he's just a little weird this morning. Normally, he comes to his stall to eat breakfast. For the last several days, he has needed some guidance on doing that, and especially this morning I had to go out to the loafing area. Odin had come in and was in his stall, but Bragi needed me to lead him, and he came in and he ate his grain, and now he's out in his pen. I don't quite know what to think about that. He has been chewing on stumps and fallen logs out in the pasture lately, which I'm not sure why. He has plenty of hay. He often has leftover hay, and they get turnout together, so he doesn't have a particularly stressful life. I think things like that, behaviors like that, kind of indicate stress, but I honestly don't know what's stressing him out, so I guess we'll wait and see. He did have a mild impaction colic last year during one of his wood chewing phases. I'd like to avoid that, so I'm certainly keeping an eye on it and trying to offer him alternatives to that, but I really don't know what's going on, so I guess I'll find out soon. I'll see you for the knitting segment. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the knitting portion of my podcast. Trying to get myself settled before I turn the camera on. You will have seen that it is a rainy day. It is Thursday, December 14th, so day 14 of Vlogmas. It was supposed to stop raining by 8 a.m. this morning, and it's quite a bit later than that, and it's still raining. So I was feeling okay with it this morning, but that was with the expectation that it was going to end early in the day. So I guess I need to adjust my expectations. And it's just getting to that time of the year where it is just really dark. I'm having to adjust my evening routine with the horses because evening is coming at like 4 p.m. now. And that's fine. It doesn't need to be summer all the time here. It doesn't need to be anything all the time here. And I fully anticipate winter. I try very hard to embrace it and embrace the kind of coziness of it and the downtime. Sometimes I do that better than others, and I'm not really sure what the high expectations are, except that I guess I have a lot of shoulds on my mind. All that to say, you would think that with embracing like winter coziness that I would be doing more knitting, but I am still feeling a bit discombobulated from Tuesday when I had to go to the office for the day, which is a trek, quite honestly, and then I went out to dinner with friends and got no knitting done. So yesterday morning I knitted, and I knitted again in the evening, and I knitted again this morning, and will knit again this evening, but I've only worked on one project. And I will show you that project. I'm doing this a little bit out of order. Normally I would talk about what I'm wearing, and I will do that. Let me find some glasses right here. So I am working on the mystery, well, it's not a mystery, the knit along, the K. Jones Bakery Bears knit along. And it's a Nutcracker themed sock. So I am just picking up the gusset on sock 2 and using, this is where I have switched color 2 to the yellow yarn. So I think this is going to be a very striking looking sock. I finished the gusset pickup and decreases on the first sock. So actually this is a very pretty sock too. So there is a pattern. It's kind of a lace, a repetitive lace pattern that I don't know if, and I think this is the waltzing flowers or something like that part of the pattern. So I expect to finish that section on sock 2 tonight. And then probably even before the evening knitting time is finished. So I'm not really sure what I'm going to pick up after that. I just want to point out I use Jadawoo red lace, circular needles, use magic loop. These are size 0. I have talked about the sock yarn numerous times. The blue is Jadawoo, a hand-dyed yarn. The red is colorway Truffle. It is a hand-painted yarn from Montana. And then the gold is a recent acquisition, and it's a brand that's new to me that I have a heck of a time remembering. Part of it is that I'm not sure I'm pronouncing it correctly. It is, looks like Gadifra, and the colorway is a number. So I bought that at a local yarn store. So those are the socks. The other projects I'm working on are a shawl by Tellybeans, where a clue is released every day. It is meant for an Advent knit. I have a 24 mini skein bouquet from Polka Dot Creek yarns that I am sort of using for it. I have decided on the pinks, kind of the pinks palette of that bouquet. Not all of the yarns are in that palette, so I am also borrowing from my stash, my scraps, and some other minis that I have. I haven't worked on that since the last time I showed you. It's not particularly holiday themed, so I'm not sure that I am going to make that a high priority. The other one I should be working on, speaking of shoulds, is the Arne Carlos stocking knit along. I have just kind of lost my mojo for that, even though the knitting is not hard, and I could probably catch up if I spent some time on it this weekend, and maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll work on it tonight, and you'll see some progress tomorrow. That is made from Norwegian wool, and the yarn needles are Chogu Red Lace size 4, so 3.5 millimeters. The shawl, I'm using, I think, Addie's needles in size 3. The pattern calls for size 4, but I have a larger gauge because I knit left-handed. So I think it'll be fine with size 3. And then the other one that I'm working on that I'm kind of excited about is a scarf. It's a double folded scarf by Pacific Knits Co., a local designer here in Seattle. And it's a really long scarf. I think there's like 700 rounds in the total length of the scarf. So that's a little bit intimidating. I am on the second motif stripe. Maybe I'll work on that. That one's kind of giving me, sparks a little joy, I have to say. I think the needle size is probably a size 3, but I'm not sure. A US size 3, so 3.25 millimeters. Knitting that in magic loop as well. So what am I wearing? This is a very cleverly named women's jacket. I have a pattern for, I believe is a free pattern. So it has these kind of bell-shaped sleeves, which are okay if this is an outer garment, which I can wear in certain temperature and weather conditions. Right now, I would probably put a vest on over it if I were to go outdoors. It's cabled to right below the elbow, and then there's cabled front and back, and then it has this kind of, look, I made a boo-boo. I think I knit this in 2018. It is a piece together, so you knit it each section in as its own and then sew it together. I really enjoyed working on this project. I wear this a lot, especially this time of year with the holiday. It seems like a very holiday color, and it's nice, cozy, warm. I think the yarn might be a Cascade worsted weight yarn, although honestly I don't remember. That is all I have for you today. Just a update on Bragi. If you saw my other video, he was acting just a little bit strange. He's just seems really impatient with being in his pen by himself, even though Odin's right next door. I've been feeding them separately for quite a long time, so some days he's better at it than others. Excuse me. This week he's been particularly, I don't know if resistant is the right word or just confused. We've been playing the cone game where he stands by a marker, which is the cone. We've been playing that game just to get him to wait to be let out. And I you know, now that I think about it, I'm wondering if he is initiating the cone game because he wants to be let out. He knows that letting out is the next step. And and we don't play the cone game unless I initiate it. Otherwise, what happens with horses is that they start offering you all kinds of tricks that they know in order to get some sort of approval or a reward, and I reward with food. And I think in this case, it's not the food that's so important. It is the that he wants to be let out. So that is my sense. I'm going to have to think about that for a while and just see how it goes. Like I said, I had to change the evening feeding routine, so I won't be playing the cone game with him tonight because I'm gonna feed them and basically let them commingle. I'm switching so that they get their grain in the morning, so that they can each enjoy their grain in peace, and then they can eat their hay together if they want to. And I'm sure Bragi will appreciate that routine, and it'll be that way until it starts getting lighter in the evening, which will be into January at this stage. So those are my thoughts about that. I will see you tomorrow with more content. Tomorrow is a day off for me, and I have a writing lesson on Odin, weather permitting, and I really hope this rain stops. this afternoon. So have a great day and see you tomorrow.